Hello and welcome everyone to the 23rd International Symposium on Research in Attacks, Intrusions and Defenses, or RAID, as we came to know the conference. My name is Manuel Egele, I'm from Boston University, and together with Leila Bilge, we are the program co-chairs for this year's RAID conference. I'm very happy to deliver these opening remarks from the program committee's perspective. Before we start, let me reiterate that a conference like RAID would not happen without an army of volunteers. And so we want to give thanks to those volunteers, and starting with the program committee, these 36 members of the scientific community reviewed all the submissions that we got of papers to be published at RAID and identified the submissions that make up the program that we're going to be hearing about in the next 3 days. So very many thanks to the program committee members that are listed by name on this slide. Furthermore, I would also like to thank the organizing committee spearheaded by the General Chair Urko, whom you'll hear from in his opening remarks as well, supported by his vice general chairs, the publication chair, publicity chair, and the travel grant chair. Furthermore, I also want to thank the steering committee for providing me the opportunity to serve as the program committee chair for this year's RAID conference. Furthermore, a conference like RAID could not happen without sponsor support. Now, it doesn't matter whether the conference happens virtually or in the physical world. And therefore, we are also very grateful to our sponsors, our gold sponsor, the Basque Cybersecurity Center, and our 2 bronze sponsors, Aruba Networks and SEOR. I would like to conclude these thanks by providing at least some virtual applause. In reality, we would all be sitting there and thank the members involved in organizing this conference with real cheers and applause. Unfortunately, we have to do this virtually this year. I would also like to thank all the authors who submitted papers for the consideration by the program committee. Would like to thank the external reviewers. And of course, I would like to thank all of you for attending this conference virtually this year around. And we sincerely hope that by next year, RAID will be back to in-person conference. If you want to know more about what will happen at RAID next year, please stay tuned and come back for the closing remarks of the conference on Friday afternoon. Here are some more organizational pieces. The sessions themselves will consist of pre-recorded videos recorded for each talk. And each talk will be followed by a live question and answer session that is moderated by the corresponding session chair. If you're wondering about the program can be accessed on the RAID2020.org website. And also, since we're publishing with Usenix for the 2nd year in a row now, the proceedings are already available under an open access license if you go to the Usenix links that appears on the slide on the bottom here. Let's talk a little bit about statistics. We had 121 paper submissions, and each paper received 3 reviews. After the reviews were in, we had a roughly 2-week-long online discussion phase, which culminated in an 8-hour-long Zoom meeting for the program committee. Again, because of the pandemic, this also had to be happening online. And I have to say that an 8-hour-long straight continuous Zoom meeting was definitely the longest meeting that I have participated in throughout the entire pandemic. The program committee narrowed those 121 papers down to the program that we're going to be hearing about in the next 3 days to 31 papers, which makes for a roughly 25% acceptance rate. In addition to selecting the program, some members of the program committee were also selected into an awards committee to identify a paper that should be presented the Distinguished Paper Award. To that end, the awards committee assessed highly ranked papers from the online discussion and the in-person discussion at the program committee meeting looked at the discussions, looked at the papers, looked at the reviews, and then voted on the highest ranked paper, which is Camera Fingerprinting Authentication Revisited, a paper by Dominik Meyer, Henrik Erb, Patrick Mulan, and Vincent Haupert from the Technische Universität Berlin and the Friedrich-Alexander-Universität in Erlangen-Nürnberg. Congratulations to the authors. This is an awesome paper, and I encourage all the attendees to go to the talk, which will happen on Wednesday at 10 o'clock Central European time. If you're in a different time zone, you'll have to do some calculations there to make sure that you're on time for that talk. Congratulations again, well deserved. In reality, I would ask the authors to come up to the stage so I can congratulate you in person and hand you your certificate for the Distinguished Paper Award. Unfortunately, virtually, we cannot really do that, but worry not, we'll make sure that the certificates make it to you via regular snail mail. That's all that there is for me to say. Please enjoy the conference. And as always, we're happy to hear your feedback and comments. Usually we would do that by just hitting us up in a coffee break or over lunch. Unfortunately, because we're all virtual, this is not going to work this time. So any other means of communication will work. Shoot us an email or reach us in another way. Enjoy the conference.